in the early days, like when you're grinding away, I think those are amazing times, honestly. The problem is people glorify the grind and they make it a lifestyle. I don't think grinding is a good lifestyle.
Yeah.
If you picture gears, like what is grind actually? Gears should not grind. If gears grind too much, they don't work, right? They get stuck, they get broken, they seize up. And that, I think, is the main part that a lot of people miss, and I did early on too. It was awesome, but one big lesson from it that I'm going to take next time is I'm not going to take the full month off, because the month was great, but I found myself like 2 weeks in, getting antsy a little bit, and not because I was like needing to go back to work or anything. I didn't check in once. The thing that I found is my mind started to get less sharp.
Get
like
antsy.
2 weeks in.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I almost forgot how to think. I almost forgot how to like think really deeply and critically. And next time around, I'd maybe take 2 full weeks off. And then the rest of the time would be like 90 minutes of work in the morning before the kids get up. So
Yeah.
that's the main change, man.
So a lot of people were like, I know people were hitting you up during and after sabbatical, like, oh, I'd love to take a month off. Like, do you think it's like a fantasy? Like you would go back and tell them like, you might not want to take a month off?
No, man. I think here's the thing. For me, I wanted to have the ability to take a month off.
Okay, gotcha.
Right? So freedom is the choice, is the ability to make the choice to do what you want to do, right?
Right.
That's what freedom is. And so if I don't have the choice to take a month off because my business is set up in a way where I can't, then I'm trapped by my business.
Right.
I don't have freedom. And so for me, it was more of an illustration of, cool, do I have the business that can allow that? The answer is yes. But the next thing is then, awesome for me, in my life currently, I'm more looking for impact versus freedom. So I'm willing to trade freedom right now for impact.
A true entrepreneur, right? I think we're geared towards, we want to do our own thing. We want to be the leader. We want to be the boss. We want to, be the guy. But I don't know, man, like one of the things that I feel like is a missing ingredient in becoming a great leader is really to serve. And I've learned through my life that when I served, when I try to help someone else's vision happen, I've seen my vision get carried out at such a higher pace than I would have done it on my own trying to do that. I think there's a certain mentality that our society has is, on one end, serving is what's going to bring my vision to pass. 2 is serving is going to keep me from accomplishing my goals. They made it about the time. They made it about the wrong things, right? So to me, I think serving is you are going to be the tortoise, right? You are going to be moving maybe at a slower pace initially. But when you begin to grow and you begin to see life from a different perspective and you build yourself up to where you're ready, I think that's when promotion comes. I really do. And I think that's what holds people back, is that people just think that their promotion is going to come through them just working on a job for 10 years, or just kind of the natural mindset that most people have is that, they're going to always see life the same way. And it's all about, what can I get? Or, hey, oh, you want me to do this, but what's in it for me?
So we did the 3-day work week while you're gone, which was funny. I just put 2 and 2 together that we did this while you were on your sabbatical.
Same time, yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to say 3-day weekends, but not everybody in the company did 3-day weekends. Most people would look at this and think like you're crazy, because they think of the CEO as like, you're the guy who has to keep the ship running, keep it efficient, and keep it profitable. Like, at least that's what I think of the main role as a CEO, is like, you have to keep the business profitable, at your core. And so people would look at this and think like, why would you want to toss all that out the window? Why would you want to toss all those profits out the window? When you think about like you as a leader, leading Carrot, leading the team, what's your main concern? Is it, profits, efficiency? Like, what's the main thing you're looking out for in the team?
Yeah. Dude, going out there and tackling our mission at the company, adding humanity to business, helping people save time, for the things in their lives that matter. Like, that's a big deal. And I think it's really easy for companies to say our mission is for those people out there, and it's for our customers, it's for the community.
Yeah.
But we oftentimes forget that it's for our team as well. Like, our team is a part of that. And so I think we've definitely been guilty of that a lot of it's outward facing, and it gave us a chance to pull in and say, hey, this is us as well. Like, how do we add more humanity? And so I think it was our chance to go, well, how can we now give you more time, at least for this 1 month, kind of like we had when we were growing up. We had seasons, right? You had your summer break and you had your winter break and spring break and stuff like that. How can we give our team a little break after this season of craziness?
Right.
And as a byproduct, can we determine if you're actually more effective in that time?
I think we definitely still got our jobs done. We were motivated though, because we were like, okay, we got to get this done. We only have 4 days this week, And so I really do think that just having that excitement of this something new to try and having, looking forward to your 3-day weekend or whatever, we definitely felt good about our productivity.
I think people really underestimate the value you get out of people when they're happy, as opposed to the value you get out of people when they're overworked. A happy employee will contribute more in 20 hours of work than an unhappy employee will in 40 hours of work. I think that's the biggest argument for the 4-day work week instead of a 5-day work week, is you're likely making your employees more happy, right? Which means they're more likely to stick around with you. You're going to get more efficiency out of your employees.
I think the 4-day work week is awesome. For me, it just gave me a little bit more, freedom and a better structure to work around for my stuff as well, right? Because I obviously have like a side hustle too, so kind of gave me easier to compartmentalize that. That was one day, and then I could do what I wanted to with Carrot on the other days, and it didn't affect my productivity at all. I felt like I was equally as productive. I don't know. I don't know if 40 hours is. I couldn't tell you why 40 is a magic number versus 30 or 50.
I think in general, it had really, really good effects. Not perfect. It's not something that I think for us, at least yet right now, is sustainable to be a full-time every month thing. But we're going to be seriously looking at how do we make it so there's other seasons other than that, and how do we make it something where it is going to happen more. So
for the person who is, where you were a few years ago, they're, like an agent, an investor, and they're grinding away, say 60, 80 hours a week, and they have the income coming in, but they can't get their time back yet. We know a lot of people like this. Like, if you had to tell them one thing, this is the one thing you need to focus on so that you can scale, so you can start to buy back your time. What's that thing?
Dude, I think that the biggest things, you've got to have a vision for what the heck you're building. It's like, if you don't have a vision for what type of business you're going to build, and you just have a business for the goals, for the money, for increasing the income, what's going to happen is you're going to always go for increasing the income, which usually goes for more work. You might hire some people where you get bottlenecked or blocked, but there's no real vision behind it. So you're probably not going to step into the work you should be doing and step out of the work you shouldn't be doing.
And by type of business, you mean the purpose and the mission of the business, not just the structure.
Yeah. What do you want the business to do, and why does it exist? Right. If you know that for you yourself, you want the business to give you freedom, to give you flexibility, to have consistency and predictability, to build an asset for you, and to have fun. Those are my 5 non-negotiables for my company. Then that tells you what type of business you should create. And for me, that doesn't mean me working 70 hours a week, grinding away on stuff that drains my energy. It means I have to build a team at that point. I have to have systems. I have to have metrics and KPIs that I look at, so I'm comfortable that the other parts of the company are running well with great people, so I don't have to do it. Right. So that's the one thing I would encourage everyone to do, is you've got to sit down and get insanely intentional about the type of business you want to build. Write your 5 non-negotiables or however many it is. Then once you're clear about that, acknowledge the time period that you're going to be in the grind with a plan to get out of it. And that's the part that most people don't. They're real estate agents who've been an agent for 20 years and they're still doing showings on Sundays and Saturdays. Or they're the number 4 or 5 agent in their town making hundreds of thousands a year, maybe even 7 figures, but they're posting on Instagram, at the theme park, how they're working with their families. They're working while their family's up there. And those are people I respect. Those are people I love. That's just not sustainable for the long term. In the early days, like when you're grinding away, I think those are amazing times, honestly. The problem is people glorify the grind and they make it a lifestyle. I don't think grinding is a good lifestyle.
Yeah.
If you picture gears, like what is a grind actually? Gears should not grind. If gears grind too much, they don't work, right? They get stuck, they get broken, they seize up. And that, I think, is the main part that a lot of people miss, and I did early on too, is they looked at the glorification of the grind as, oh, that's my goal. I'm going to post I'm waking up at 2 in the morning or 4 in the morning and saying, hey, if you're not getting yours, someone's getting yours for you. Like, that's great for a season, but you can't do that for too long. Otherwise, you're going to break down. Otherwise, you're going to get ground to a pulp and you're going to seize up. And that happens to so many entrepreneurs. They're grinding. Then I hear a year, 2, 3 years later that they let their business go and they're having a hard reset. They didn't have to do that.
Right.
The only reason they're having a hard reset is because they ground themselves to a pulp to where they now had to pull away. And like, oh shoot, I've got to reset now.
Right.
And the way that it manifests out there is, I lost passion for my business. I just want to do something else now, or whatever it is. And that was me too. So I think grinding in the early days is good. It's a healthy thing as long as there's an end point that is not too far out, and as long as you're not glorifying that as the end point or something that people should aspire to.
Right.
You're grinding so that you can get to a business that gives you freedom, flexibility, and impact. But you can't be in that grind mode too long. I think the grinding is healthy, and you've got to manufacture it so you don't get too comfortable.
Was there anybody that didn't? Because I loved it. I thought it was the coolest thing. It's the coolest perk that probably I've ever heard of for a company doing. I've never seen a company so committed to their mission that they're willing to pay their employees an extra day because our mission is to add humanity to business and help people regain time for things that really matter. And to me, I was like, what a perfect way to encapsulate that, to picture that, and to really live it out, giving the employees here a chance to benefit that. It was just amazing. I would say probably every day for that entire month of July, it was just like, oh man, I feel so refreshed. Because even when I was starting to feel down, usually by the end of the week, by maybe Thursday, I'd start to feel like, okay, I could be ready for a break. But then before the weight of it hits you, you get that extra day off. And so then you get rejuvenated and you come back. And so it was I've never felt so good. Honestly, during work, I don't know, it was just amazing to me. It was like a good, healthy reset that I wouldn't usually feel. I'm going to go on record and say 4-day work weeks. Let's do them always. They're the best thing that has happened in the history of at least 2020, which is a low bar, but maybe the best thing ever. So